your ice arena because, of course, they're big ticket items that cost, a lot, typically require huge subsidy to operate. Throw out the ice arena, but then look at other things and really see, what's the balance, and you might find that winter comes out short. And what kinds of things can you be doing, are you doing now for winter tourism, and what kinds of things might you be doing? I think there's a lot to learn from networking. I know Marquette, Michigan, and Prince George, BC, in two cities in Sweden, did a little snow management exchange. And you're going to hear more about Prince George's snow management program. But Marquette sent a guy. There was some criticism because of the cost. He went to Prince George and then to Sweden. He came back with this idea for this different type of snow tire for front-end loader, which they used a lot in Marquette for snow management. And they had actually done a study and were looking for something like this. They found that with the typical loader tire, the wheels were spinning half the time that it was in operation. And so by going to this different tire design, they eliminated that. I know in Houghton, Michigan, nearby Marquette, they changed over these tires. They have real steep slopes in that town, and they were able to do things that they couldn't believe, saved a lot of labor cost, a lot of time, and did a better job. So one little idea can have huge impacts in your community, something that you learn from somebody else. So obviously we have to believe here in the North that our cities can be cool places to live. I'd like to talk just for a minute about this project I was involved with in Marquette. We did a study downtown, found some kind of forgotten land by redesigning some existing parking lots, and the people wanted a town square. And so my firm designed this project. I believe you have something going on here, a town square perhaps happening. It's a great way to kind of integrate recreation and give people a community gathering place in your downtown, a venue for farmers markets, for art shows, and so forth. This one happened to be designed for winter use, and you actually ski under this, or not ski, skate under this overhang, and it's more of a skating pathway than a skating rink. It's been very successful for them. Talk a little bit about Anchorage again. The multi-use trail system, I got a few photos of that. But you'll see here, right in this picture, someone skiing, someone running with a dog. Very common. And here's kind of how the trail looks when it's in use. Now, we don't get a lot of snow in Anchorage, not daily like Houghton or Marquette, Michigan, at least. But they groom tracks off to the side, and people skate or walk on the rest of the surface. And these are integrated right into the city, go under roads. This tunnel happens to be under a railroad on what's called the Coastal Trail, and it's a 15-mile trail along the sea. They have some small lakes in the city that they plow skating pathways and skating rinks, and those are widely used by people. They have their Fur-Rondi festival with all kinds of activities from mushing to running of the reindeer, which is a downtown event. It's funny, they actually had to bring in a female reindeer and let that go first so that the others would chase it down the street through the crowd. But people it's gone on for a few years now. It's been hugely successful and just brings thousands of people downtown. And people actually pay to run with the reindeer and dress up in all kinds of wild costumes. It's quite an event. And then, of course, we have the Iditarod. Here's two-time Winter Lance Mackey, they have their ceremonial start in Anchorage and then move out to Willow for the actual restart the next day. Of course, you've all heard of that. Now, I want to talk just a moment and run through some slides of how it's possible to use snow and ice as a community resource rather than just something, a nuisance that we have to move around and get rid of. In north of Sweden, probably 10 years ago, a man started a project called Ice Hotel. And this actually has spread now to Canada. You have one in Quebec City, or did have. I don't know if they're still going. And basically, I love this little saying that the further away you are and the harder it is to get to you, the more people seem to want to go there. That's certainly true in Jukkasjärvi, Sweden. George maybe remembers this. I think he'd had a few of those drinks in the Ice Hotel where you drink you have your drink in the rocks, actually, and a drink from an ice glass. But also on that same trip, I saw this in Sweden or in Stockholm, where they were displaying women's fashions encased in ice. And people they had to walk up and touch that because it was so unique, so beautiful. And I really think that people are fascinated with ice and snow. And a few pictures of that ice hotel. And I know, occasionally they have a program on Discovery Channel about how this is made and how people come there from all over the world to sleep on top of reindeer hides, caribou skins in sleeping bags in the most beautiful little rooms. It's just wonderful. But they also have an outdoor theater that is a replica of the Shakespeare's Globe Theater, and they have nightly performances there. In fact, they do Shakespeare in Lapland. This is the world's largest snow castle in Kemi, Finland, again north of the Arctic Circle. It was a town that had basically lost its reason for existence. They had some paper mills there that were closed, and so the community was really losing people and losing their reason to exist. And so a man proposed building the world's largest snow castle. The city appropriated, I guess, about $250,000 or something to build this. The city council almost got run out of town until they built it, and 250,000 people showed up the first year to see it. Now it has become the focus of the community, and they build this every year using a different design. We made some little snow buildings in Houghton, Michigan that were wildly successful, and as a venue for displaying some ice and snow art. These are not that difficult to build, and people just loved it. Even the King of Sweden likes snow and art. The King of Sweden and Old Man Winter. Can you guess which one is the king? Or how about an outdoor amphitheater made out of snow? Again in Kiruna, Sweden. We're putting ice sculptures on your downtown streets, like in Quebec City, or making children's play areas out of snow, like in Sault, Ontario, or in Quebec City. Certainly they have their famous Carnaval de Quebec, wildly popular, very fun time, lots of different activities going on, all integrated under Monsieur Bonhomme, if you know who he is. Actually, his picture is right there, the mascot. So that concludes my program. I tried to cover a lot of different things and to at least pique your interest and perhaps open your eyes to some new possibilities.